Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you all are doing good, staying safe and getting ready to receive COVID vaccine. I actually received my first shot couple days back and I will be getting the second dose later this month. In my conversations with some of my friends and family members, I understand that a few of you might be undecided about whether or not to take the COVID vaccine. So, in today's video, we will discuss a bit about coronavirus and the COVID vaccines that have come up in the market. Before we actually get into the topic, I would like to mention that I hold a PhD in physiology, wherein my focus of research was entirely on acute respiratory distress syndrome. And for those who don't know, COVID-19 is caused by a SARS virus, wherein SARS stands for Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome. I have published a number of papers in top rated science journals, and if you are interested to read, I will be giving a link below in the description box. First, let us try and understand how our immune system works. So, different immune cells in our body specifically recognize some proteins which are present on the surface of virus, bacteria, or any other infectious agents. Then they trigger the immune responses or the defense responses in simple language. So with COVID, what happened? It was a new virus. So our immune system did not have any, idea, any specific molecules that it could recognize and prepare the body's defense system. That's why it was very easy for coronavirus to enter into your body and perpetuate. So the vaccines that have come up now, they are actually triggering your immune responses. They are signaling the immune system with that specific protein which can trigger a very good defense response in your body against the virus. Now let's quickly talk about the COVID vaccines which have given us a ray of hope to fight against this pandemic. In US, there are 3 vaccines approved for usage by Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. While in India, there are 2 vaccines available, Covaxin by Bharat Biotechnologies and Covishield, which is made in collaboration between Oxford and AstraZeneca. Pfizer and Moderna have come up with mRNA-based vaccines. As we discussed earlier, that our body, our immune system doesn't have enough infrastructure to fight against COVID infection. So what these mRNA-based vaccines are doing is that they are introducing a specific viral mRNA molecule into your body. This molecule will give rise to a specific proteins called the spike proteins, and they are good enough to trigger your immune responses, so that your body, your immune system is kind of prepared for any futuristic COVID infections. Johnson & Johnson has come up with a vector-mediated vaccine. Vector in simple term you can understand as a vehicle. A vehicle which will be used to transport a small amount of genetic portion of the virus, which will form the protein in your body, and that protein will trigger the immune responses. Covishield is also a very similar type of vaccine where they are using vector-based technology. What they do, they introduce a small genetic portion, or I should say genes, into your body, which will eventually make viral proteins or the spike proteins. Again, it's the same spike protein which is going to trigger your immune responses and prepare your body for any type of futuristic infections. And the last one that we are left with is Covaxin, which used the traditional vaccine approach where they tend to inject inactivated virus into your body, which does not have any potency to cause infections, but still it has those viral proteins which are good enough to trigger immune responses in your body and prepare yourself for futuristic infections. In summary, whichever vaccine you take, the bottom line is vaccines are going to prepare your body to trigger immune responses in case you come across infection. Sometimes people ask me a common question. It's like, how come Pfizer has 95% efficacy while Johnson & Johnson has been approved with just 66% efficacy? I would really like to address this point. The efficacy depends on the test conditions, on what are the considerations that they have taken into account, whether it is the rate of severe infection, whether it is the rate of hospitalization, or whether they took into account the rate of deaths. However, effectiveness of the vaccine actually means how well the vaccine works in the normal situation, like in the hospital, how well it works in general. And you will be surprised to know that Johnson & Johnson has a very high efficiency as compared to Pfizer. All these depends on what are the inclusion and exclusion criteria while they are doing their clinical trials. The bottom line is, you don't need to get confused with the terms like efficacy, efficiency, or effectiveness. All the vaccines are equally safe, and you can go ahead with whatever vaccine is made available to you by your authorities or the government. Again, one thing is, I would like to caution pregnant ladies or feeding mothers to have a word with your healthcare provider before getting vaccinated, because there is very little data available on how these vaccines impact pregnancy or breastfeeding. While it's very common to see pain, redness, or soreness in your arm where you have received the vaccine, and some people might have joint pains, body ache, or headache. But you know what? These are also common with other vaccines that you take, like the flu shot that you take every year, or even vaccines like hepatitis. So I would say these reasons are not sufficient to take a step back. We should all move ahead, get vaccinated, and fight the pandemic together. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you find the content helpful. If you have any doubts, please leave a comment below and I will be happy to address it. Uh, Before I sign off, I would say, please register yourself on different websites provided by your authorities and get prepared for receiving the vaccine. We all are together and we need to fight COVID. Stay happy and stay safe. Bye bye.